Test 1, 2, check 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I was running about 30 seconds late here. I was trying to queue up some fun music for a Monday, and I just couldn't find my phone wasn't connecting. I apologize for that. Hey, it's Monday, April 5th. Good morning. It's the day after Easter. It's the first day of spring break if you're a Templeton student, and which you probably are a Templeton student because I have like hundreds of Templeton students tuning into the show every single morning. So, yeah, this is for you. Regardless, if you're not a Templeton student, Templeton's starting spring break today, and so hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. It's day 7. I know you know that. I know you know, and I know you care. It's day 7 of my 75 hard challenge. Day 6 yesterday was awesome. Felt great. Body felt great. Day 5, however, day 5. Now, keep in mind, this is no gluten, no sugar, no dairy, no alcohol. Day 5 was a little bit of a butt kicker. That hurt me. I was just feeling terrible. And this is the weird thing about 2021. Like, you're almost shamed into not telling people how you feel physically, right? You don't want to say you don't feel good because then everyone's like, oh, you got to get tested. You better quarantine. No, I'm just detoxing on my 75 hard challenge, and I felt like crap. I didn't have COVID. I don't have COVID. I've been, so anyways, day 5 really didn't feel well. I worked through it. I worked out. I pushed through it and took a midday nap. I'm a fan. I've never been a napper before. I've always made fun of my wife for napping, midday naps. And I took a midday nap after my workout on Saturday. And I have to admit, it felt great. I woke up feeling like $1,000,000. And Allison and Abby, they're spending some time away. They're out of town for a few days on a girls' trip. And then so Noel and I are just bacheloring it. And he checks in with me like once every 30 hours. So I know he's alive and fed. And then we just kind of go do our thing. That's our life without Mom and Abby. But anyways, Easter Sunday yesterday was day 6. It was a good day. We did. I played some music at church. Noel and I went to church, and then afterwards came home. I went and worked out, and then he took a midday nap, which was nice. He needed it, and so he had a chance to kind of push pause for a minute, and then we woke up and went to the beach. We took one of the dogs to the beach, and he got some saltwater therapy in and surf session out at Cayucas Pier, which was beautiful. And I took one of the puppies to the beach for the first time to try to teach her how to walk on the beach, and she didn't really understand it. So it was a bit of a challenge, but nonetheless, I got a second workout in because that's part of the 75 hard challenge. You have to have 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. One of them has to be outside. So I ran 4.25 miles inside on the treadmill, and then did another 2 miles outside walking on the beach, which was beautiful. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I know what you're thinking. 2 miles in 45 minutes. Come on, pick up the pace. I was literally dragging a dog with me. So it was in sand, wearing shoes. So it was a workout. But yeah, the weekend was great. You know, we last night, I don't know, we got home from the beach, and Noel decided to have a sleepover. And so he had, I think there was 4 kids here that went to the movies, saw Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, or something. I don't know. We should do a movie review. I want to do a movie review segment like on a Friday. If you want to be part of our show and contribute a weekly movie review segment, I'm not a movie guy. I don't even go to the movies really, but I don't know. You guys might find value in that. Now that we can go back to the movies, we should start doing a movie review segment Just a thought. Let me make a note of that. Movie review segment. Movie reviews. Okay. So, anyways, him and his buddies went to the movies, and I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I will. So he comes out with a ski jacket on, and he says, "Yeah, we should probably go buy a bunch of snacks that we can take into the movies with us." And the ski jacket is so that you can pack it with like all the Skittles and the Starbursts and all the candy that you want to take in with you. And I said, no. I said, you know what? Why don't you buy the candy there, since the movies was closed for a year? Maybe you can buy the candy there and support them. And he said, okay, Dad. And then I thought to myself, so how long do we have to do that before we go back to like being um like cost conscious and go, no, okay, yeah, let's sneak candy back into the movies? Is it going to be like 6 months where we have to buy at the movie theater? Or, I mean, are you guys just letting your kids just sneak candy in again? Or what's that like? But I mean, it's not even just kids, it's adults. You got people pulling out like fried chicken out of their purse inside the movie theater and stuff. um, I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know if you do or not, but I feel like I see a lot of ladies with big purses in the movies that tend to pack, Milk Duds and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. So how long is that going to last? Where we pay an extra $3 for a pack of Starburst to support local, before we just say, you know what, screw it. Yeah, take the ski jacket, go to AMPM and load up. Just a thought. Just a thought. All right, so we've got a different week for you guys this week. We've given everybody at the school kind of the week off. I didn't want them to have to devote any time to coming in and giving an update on a week where it's their spring break. They've been working really hard. They've been super challenged by everything that's been going on. And so I thought to myself, let's do something different this week. Let's bring in some people from the community. Let's talk about different things. Let's maybe do some replays, which we've done in the past, and that seems to work out well. And this is week 5, and just so you know, week 5, I've been tracking kind of like the statistics of the viewership of the show, because this is a project for me that I'm really just experimenting with to see if the community finds value in what I'm doing, and then how I can kind of tweak and adjust it to make sure that it is something that you guys continue to see value in. And what I've noticed is week over week, our viewership has gone up. And so while we might not be having a lot of viewers at any given time, week over week, the total number of views for all the shows for the week have gone up, which is great. And again, it's still trending like 79% women, which leads me to believe I need to kind of gear some of the programming towards you girls. And or maybe I just leave it. I don't know. But anyways, so I can tell that what we're doing is something that you guys are finding some value in. But again, I want to continue to make sure that we progress and build it up to something that is a go-to for you guys in the morning, right? The something that you go to kind of get a little spark for the morning, something that makes you kind of laugh, something that gives you a little bit of an escapism, but also like knowledge, right? So like you can think of me as the Matt Lauer of, no, never mind. That's a bad example. Don't think of me. Canceled. No, think of me. Look, I just want this to be an informational, fun news morning show that's uplifting and positive, and it builds community. And so hopefully 5 weeks in, we are doing that. And we just continue to tweak and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Everybody loves that farm update by Matt Garrett and Irish Oaks. Good morning, Tony. How are you? Happy Easter, sir. And so, yeah, everybody likes the farm update, which is kind of a cool thing. I like checking in with Matt when he's walking around feeding, because you can hear like farm animals, and you could see like blood when goats give birth, and like it's just, I mean, where else can you go? They don't do that on KSBY. I'm just saying they don't. Okay, let's talk Friday night football. I'll tell you about my weekend. So this is ridiculous. I got to the field at 3:30 on Friday. And again, I've got a super important job. No, I'm not the offensive coordinator. Another important job. I have the honor of setting up and operating the camera system for the coaches. And what it does is it tapes every single play of the game. And so real time, it allows the coaches with an iPad to go and review the last play if they want, right? So they're doing this on the sideline real time. I'm capturing the footage with my group from the 50-yard line and from the end zone, two different angles. This system has been nothing short of just disastrous, and it's probably a 90% operator error thing, but maybe it's not. I figured, hey, I'm getting there at 3:30. It's 3.5 hours before the game. That should be plenty of time to set up two cameras and make sure they're working, right? Fast forward 3 hours, it's 6:30, and I still can't get the 50-yard line camera to work and operate. And I'm scrambling and I'm sweating and I'm running back and forth between the two cameras. And it's just pressure, right? Crunch time. Luckily, I've got a great team. I've got Ben Swan, who has volunteered to help out, which is awesome. I've got Jason Moore, another guy, it's awesome guy that's agreed to help out. I've got Randy Humley, who's also helping, and then we've got Malcolm High, who's just an awesome guy in the community who loves supporting the youth program. So great team, everybody's involved. And then I actually brought in another helper on Friday just because I knew that we would just probably need that extra set of hands, and turns out we did. So anyways, it's now 6:49, 6:55. The camera's still not working. The team's on the field. They're doing the national anthem. I'm freaking out because I still can't get the cameras working. And so plan B is always, okay, grab the iPhone and film the footage every single play with the iPhone. And so that's ended up being what we did. And luckily, it wasn't one of those games where like Coach Crow and his coaches were relying on that footage real time to make adjustments, right? So there were probably very little adjustments that needed to be. Listen to me, like I know if there were little adjustments needing to be made, but I'm assuming based on the score, the boys knew what they were doing. The team did a great job. And good morning, Josh. Good morning, Lori. Yeah, so I'm going to get to Saturday too. Saturday was an awesome day as well. So anyways, back to football. Luckily for me, the score and the game was kind of impressive for us to come out and beat AG 49-12. And so I don't know who was expecting that. I certainly was expecting more of a back and forth type scenario, but maybe that's just me knowing historically that AG has always had strong athletics. And so it was a great night. It was a great victory. It was a fun one for the history of Templeton football. It was a fun one for the community and the boys. I'll dive into all the stats here in a minute, but first let's check in with Mr. Anthony Reed from Paso Robles Incidents and Actions. Hey, how did Paso do this weekend?
They lost 34-7 to Ragetti.
Okay.
So it wasn't real respectable after the third quarter.
Okay. Yeah, but that's too bad. We had one of the Paso kids spend the night here last night. So,
but hey, you were talking about movies and stuff earlier, and sneaking stuff in the movie theater. Actually, a couple of years ago, I went to go see a movie, and I had a backpack full of Taco Bell. So that people do sneak stuff in backpacks even. So I thought I'd let you know that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff, but yeah, Taco Bell's probably one of those that it's like a dead giveaway. You go, it smells like a chalupa in here. What's going on, right? Like,
but actually, like nobody was around me, like in the movie theater. I was like the only one in the movie theater that day.
oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was in the afternoon. I had the day off, so I said, might as well go ahead and go to the movies and grab Taco Bell on the way. So, yeah,
nice, very cool. All right. So, anything happening in and around the North County?
No, it was actually a pretty good weekend. Just listening on the scanner, no major accidents, but just a few accidents, like near the Avila Beach and Shell Beach area. There was a 4-car pileup or something like that in Arroyo Grande or in Avila Friday afternoon. But just traffic-wise on the 46 here in Paso, if you know off of 24th Street, it gets pretty heavy with traffic, and that's what it was pretty much all weekend. Actually, on all day Saturday, like there were officers like pulling people over left and right on the 46.
Yeah,
going east and west. They were catching all the out-of-towners and all that stuff. But yeah, no major incidents, no deaths to report, which is always a good thing, especially on Easter weekend. So it's just recovering from the weekend, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty warm week again. So we're looking forward to a good week.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Well, check back in with us here at the top of the hour at 7:55 or 6:55, and or no, I'm sorry, 7:55, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good, Mike.
All right, thanks, Anthony. All right, Anthony Reed, Paso Robles Incidents and Actions. The guy's got a Facebook page. I'm sure if you've watched before, you've heard me say this Facebook page has over 6,000 followers, and he does a great job of just kind of reporting real time any incidents, actions happening around the North County. So you can find him at Paso Robles Incidents and Actions on Facebook. So, anyways, back to the game. Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. The numbers that were put up. I'll share my screen here. Let's see. Boom, boom. Share. See if you can see it. Okay. Let me zoom in. And we'll just look at at the Templeton stuff here. All right. So Tyler Kacheski had let's see here. He was 2 of 3 completions for 49 yards. Noel got in the game. My son, he had 1 completion for 3 yards. That was kind of fun. Lots of rushing yards. Tyler had 372 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on Friday. Josh Berna had 161 with 2 touchdowns. And then Isaiah and Kale had a few carries each. And yeah, it's just insane. So the boys all played well. It was fun to watch them. A few catches by everybody. Garrett Goodman had a great catch, a 40-yard catch. Lane Miller got in some action. It's just so much fun to watch these boys. Yeah, so 49-12. What a victory. What a Friday. And I had a lot of fun because after the game, we had the opportunity to come back to the house, and then I went out with my buddy to get some In-N-Out burger, and then at In-N-Out, there was a few of the kids there. Chase was there, and Caleb Goodman was there. Or not Caleb Goodman. I'm sorry. Fisher was there, and a few of the cheerleaders, and they were all getting their food and running around. And then of course, what happens? One of the other kids comes into the parking lot with their Nerf guns. And it was like in season. The kids were walking out of In-N-Out Burger with their food, and then all of a sudden you'd see them sprint back into the restaurant, freaking out about. So I think it was Parker that had showed up with and Coach, if you're listening, these guys are not playing assassins. I'm just these are different kids, I promise. But it was fun because it was like this post game kind of euphoria that was happening with all these kids, and it was good, clean, fun Friday night. Everybody was safe, and it just awesome. So good stuff. Congratulations to Coach Crow, all the coaches, and then of course all the kids who had a great game and got to experience that victory. It was a fun one, and I was excited to be there. So Saturday we went out. I raised my hand. My wife, her and Melinda are like snack bar queens, and so they do, for some reason, they want to make sure that snack bar is open like 24/7, like a Denny's. I mean, that's how they're treating our snack bars at Templeton. It's like Denny's, it never closes, right? So snack bar was open at the Vineyard Elementary Fields, Vineyard Sports Fields for the baseball game. And so I volunteered to go out and do the snack bar at the baseball game. Again, Jason Moore came out and helped. And then my buddy Teddy was in town, so he was helping. We had a great day at the snack bar. Everybody wanted breakfast burritos. So Templeton Donuts is providing us with these breakfast burritos and donuts. And so we had those available. The team looked fabulous. I mean, I haven't seen them play since before the pandemic, and so this is my first kind of experience seeing this lineup. And I got to tell you, Robbie Lardner on the mound was like close to flawless. That kid, he was throwing really well on Saturday, and so well. I mean, he went. He went most of the game, but it was the game ended up being 10-0. And so everybody, I mean, people were hitting like crazy. It was just good base running, great defense, all around. And then the capper was Connor Becker at the end of the game. Hits basically a pop-up deep right field, goes over the right fielder's head, or I couldn't really tell from my vantage point if it went over his head or if the right fielder just ran a bad route to the ball. But what ended up happening was Connor, which I think we need to clock him. He looked super fast on those bases. Connor ended up getting an in the park home run, sliding at home for a walk-off, and they called the game 10-0. So that was awesome to experience and see. Those boys were super pumped up, and they looked great. So congratulations to the Templeton Eagles baseball team who beat Orcutt 10-0. And so again, Robinson, Lardner, Robbie played great, and then Connor. Well, all you boys played great, but just the two standout things to me were definitely that in the park home run by Connor Becker, and then Robbie just dominating on the mound. So congratulations. They're ranked. So okay, according to Max Preps, the baseball team's ranked 274th in California, 30th in the section, and 7th in the division. And so Max Preps is a cool site. I don't know how accurate and up to date real time it is, but it kind of shows you all of the rankings, and then actually coincidentally football. So football, now we're ranked. We went from 274 last week, I think, to 189 this week in state. We're ranked 15th in the central section and 3rd in the division. So cool. It's just stats, and it doesn't mean anything. What means something is the boys' spirit and attitude and their work ethic, and their sportsmanship on the field. Like, that's first and foremost, like 100%. That's what it's all about. But these rankings and stats, they're fun, right? It's just something fun. And I don't want it to control us, right? At least in my house, I don't want it to control the how my son plays the game, or how he tracks his progress or success, right? But it is kind of a little side note to just track. So yeah, that was Saturday, the baseball. I heard there's a school update. there's a school update that went out, and I was looking for the email and I just can't find it anywhere. My wife said she forwarded it to me, but I don't see it anywhere. But somebody posted it. I think Kelly posted it on Facebook. Basically, it sounds like that when we get back, well, on the 19th, starting on the 19th of April, it sounds like all of our kids into high school are going to be able to go back to school together. Now, the schedule's not necessarily changing. It's going to be kind of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Wednesday at home. But they're combining the cohorts. Is that somebody hit me up in the chat? Let me know if this is accurate. Again, this is I kind of got a little bit of that news on Friday, but didn't really get a lot of the details. So here's the image that Kelly shared on her Facebook. Okay, so again, students will have the option to stay in distance learning and would continue to attend classes via Zoom and complete assignments in Google Classroom. Please note, once your family selects the option to stay in distance learning, the student will remain there for the remainder of the school year when TUSD is able to return in-person learning. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like the schedule is going to stay the same, but what they're doing is bringing A and B back, right, together, and so they're not splitting those up. Any news about TMS doing the same thing? As of now, no. There is no news of TMS doing the same thing. I know that this direction was just focused solely on the high school. I do know that they're continuing to work to see if they can do something for the middle and elementary schools. I'm not sure if it's an agreement issue with the unions or if it's a staffing issue. I really don't have any of those details, but Tara, I will find out to see if we can learn more about that. But so yeah, as of now, this is just the high school. The high school is basically combining A and B together. And this is in the wake of the state and county guidance of going from 6 feet to 3 feet social distancing. And so that allows us to kind of reconfigure what the classroom setting looks like, what the school setting looks like, and it allows us to bring more people together at once. And so good news. And I think Mr. Mack pointed out on Friday, we may be the first school, the first public school in our county to have all of the students back under the same on the same days. So if that is the case, and granted, we've got a smaller population than a lot of schools, but if that is the case, congratulations to Templeton Unified School District, the administrators and the team, Mr. Asplin, Mr. Burnett, and all of your support team that has helped put this together. And thank you so much to the teachers, Eric Lewis, and your kind of motivation and drive and effort in helping put this together with your coworkers to create a creative, out of the box what do you call it, solution that the board signs off on and the union signs off on and everybody feels good about. Like, congratulations on moving at the speed of which you moved to get something like this accomplished. So very cool. As of now, it looks like this is going to happen. I think I heard on the 19th is when they'll go back to that. So yay, almost normal here for our high schoolers towards the end of the year. What is normal though, right? I guess if they're learning one thing, they're learning how to be adaptable. Is that the right word? Adaptable, flexible. They're learning how to adapt. How about that? I'll just leave it at that. So all right, Tara, I'm going to make a note to find out about the middle school. Middle school back. All right. I just made a note. It's funny. I was talking at the beginning of the show about how when you're not feeling well, you don't want to say it anymore. We're kind of like shamed into not discussing uh, how we feel, sick wise. But I woke up yesterday, and I probably shouldn't even say this because everyone's going to be like, "Dude, you need to quarantine for 19 years." I woke up and it felt like I got punched in the eye, like a sty almost, and my eye was super swollen yesterday, and it didn't feel, I don't know, it felt like a sty or like a black eye, right? And this morning it feels totally normal. Now, it might not look normal, but it doesn't hurt anymore. So I don't know. I think it's a lot of detoxing uh, that is just happening as I'm going through this fitness challenge. Um, oh, Tony just sent me a message. I do need to get the offensive line on our show. That's a great idea. This what do these guys have between 7 and 9? They're general this week. I think they have practice at 8. I think we got to get those boys on this week. That'll be fun to get the whole line on. Oh, speaking of which, this is something kind of cool, and this might be a setting of which we do it. So Joe's Place has said, "Hey, Morning Buzz, yes, come on in. I want you to do a live remote show from Joe's Place." And so we threw that out there as an idea, as something that I wanted to do in the future, and it got back to them. And it turns out that they're all on board for the idea. So Joe's Place on Friday. I don't know if it's this Friday, but we're going to set something up where we're going to be able to take the show on the road and do a live remote Morning Buzz show from Joe's. And so maybe that's an idea. Maybe we get the offensive line to join us at Joe's Place one morning. I don't know. So yeah, Tony, great idea. Thanks for. Oh, and then I'm just continuing to read the text, and he says, "Don't mention my name." Well, cat's out of the bag, Tony. Sorry about that. No, I think it's a great idea. That was not suggested by Tony. It was all me. I'm terrible at this. I can't keep a secret to save my life. Sorry. Good morning, Mike Brenner. Can you put me in touch with Melinda? Yes, absolutely. Melinda has booster banners available. And so if you go on the Templeton Boosters website, they are selling these banners. They're 4x6 Templeton Boosters. I'm pulling it up. Athletic Booster Support Club. Look at me on the fly. I'm just pulling stuff up. No big deal. All right, so here's their website. If you go onto it, it's I'm going to post the link in the chat. Let's see if I can do this here. There's the link in the chat. Tony, yes. Okay. Well, you got to message me on one platform. Tony's texting me and then messaging me on the screen. So I'm literally bouncing back and forth between the two screens. Meanwhile, simultaneously trying to run this intriguing morning show that just everybody is in love with. So look, my job's hard, Tony. Help me help you. All right, so Mike Brendler, there's the link to the boosters. They have all kinds of swag available on their website: masks, shirts, tumblers. You could fit soda in those tumblers, umbrellas, sweatshirts, leather patch hat, which you've seen Melinda and Mindy wear at the games. Those are really cool hats. I love those hats. Tote bags, more masks for masks. You can double, triple wear masks. And then you've got your Wings Up community banner, which is what Mike was referring to. It's a Go Fight Win banner. It's 4x6, and you can put it out at your place of business. You can buy one and donate it back to the field and put it out on the field. I don't know. I just threw that out. I don't even know if you can do that, but you should be able to. That's kind of cool. those banners are $46. And so that link, that website, that's where you can buy those banners and all kinds of other swag. And then we should have some contact information. Maybe we don't have contact information there. But let me find the email address for the boosters, and I'll put that up there as well. There it is. Okay. I just put it on the screen. To get in touch with Melinda, it's THS Athletic Boosters Club at gmail.com. That is the email where you can hit Melinda up too, and the boosters, if you want to volunteer, if you want to work in the snack bar and help and go to some of these sporting events, you can send her an email, let her know that you want to be on the list, and she will, no doubt, I promise you, she will be calling on you at some time to help her staff the snack bars, whether it's at the high school for the football games or over at the Vineyard Fields for baseball and softball. So that's the email address where you want to get a hold of boosters. All right, let's see. Where was I? Okay, awesome. So we talked about boosters, we talked about baseball, we talked about football. Let's talk about the show. I mentioned we're going to do a live remote at Joe's place. Yes. The other thing I wanted to start to do is I wanted to get some community members on the show from time to time. I reached out on the Facebook page to get somebody to come in that represents the real estate market. Maybe we can do kind of a market update from time to time. If you're thinking about buying or selling a house, and just kind of give us the lay of the land, like what's going on out in the real estate market. Is it a good time to buy? Is it not a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell, etc.? I don't know. I'm throwing ideas out there. I'm trying to create value content for you guys. And so if you guys have any ideas at all, you could email me at morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com. And that way I can just kind of start to fill up my toolbox with all of these tools, things that help me provide you guys with better information. The other thing that I noticed too is I want to put together kind of a weekly calendar that allows you to go to one place to see all of the events going on, whether they're school sponsored events or whether they're just events out in the community. I don't feel like we have a really good place like a one place that's a catch-all to see everything that's going on in the North County. And so that's something that I'm working on putting together as well. That'll probably be like a once a week kind of update. And I don't know if that's going to be something that is a living, breathing calendar, like on a Google Calendar that's just shared with everybody, or if it's a website. I don't know what that looks like yet, but that's something that I'm working on doing. And, the hope is for this program anyways, that I can continue to do this for you guys, selfishly for me to be able to, at some point, make sure that it's worth my while monetarily, but also too, as an opportunity for me to give back to the community and provide something that you guys use, right? And so that's the long-term goal, I think. But I don't know. We're just going week by week right now. So I'm just happy to be doing it and creating a space where we're all having fun and laughing and celebrating our kids and the schools and learning about each other and the community. So that to me is worth it itself. So yeah. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about that sty thing in my eye. Yeah. And literally, we don't want to tell people that we're sick because everybody's going to think we have to quarantine. So I'm actually feeling great today. It's day 7 of the 75-day hard challenge. A gallon of water a day, 2 45-minute workouts, a diet plan, no gluten, no sugar, no alcohol, no dairy, and you have to read 10 pages a day. And so I'm 7 days, today's day 7, and I'm feeling super great about the progress. I will admit it's been kind of interesting to get the workouts in, trying to figure out, because the workouts have to be spread 4 hours apart at least. I think it's 3 to 4 hours apart at the very least. And so That's been a little challenging, especially with other activities going on, but it's so far I've been managing. So there's that. Today, for the rest of the show, what I wanted to do was put together a kind of a playlist of just some replays and other videos that I wanted to share with you guys that we haven't had a chance to do kind of a best of type show. And it's Monday, it's spring break. I want to keep it light. Mr. Asplin and Mr. Burnett are not going to come on. Joe Farley's not going to come on. We're not going to have Mr. Mack on every single day. Eric Lewis is not going to come on to do the history minute with us because these guys are all on spring break. Hey, Tony, okay, for the record, In-N-Out Burger, I was at In-N-Out picking up burgers for other kids. And yes, it does fit in my program because here's what I had. I had a 4 meat patty protein style burger with pickles and mustard only. And so wrapped in lettuce, 4 patties, pickles, and mustard. Yes, that does fit in my program. My program isn't a no fat program. It's protein, fat, and carb. Like those are the 3 things that I'm focused on getting at all my meals: a protein, a fat, and a carb. No dairy, no gluten, no sugar, no alcohol. And I think the protein style 4 meat patties fits in that category, Tony. All right, follow me for more health tips, Tony. I can get you in shape. I promise this. Hey, but speaking of health tips, I am going to have Bradford Young, my trainer, who is also a really good friend of mine. Bradford's going to start doing like a morning thing for us where we just kind of give a 5-minute deal of like, hey, here's your health tip of the day. If you're sitting at work all day, do XYZ. Or in Tony's case, if you're playing golf 17 hours a day, Tony, these are some of the exercises you need to do. Those types of things. So, just different tips, different tricks for us to kind of stay healthy as we go into our older age. Or if you're sitting in a truck driving for 7 hours, this is what you need to do every 3 hours. So a couple years ago, we took the kids on a half cross country trip to Texas. We drove out there in the van. It was myself, Allison. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 foster kids at the time, Abby and Noel, and we all loaded into the van and drove out to Texas. And Bradford challenged me when I was going out there. Every time you stop, you do. What was I doing? I was doing 25 squats and 25 push-ups, I think. And so I'd be at a truck stop, and you got, your truck stop. You're not dealing with like the world's most physically fit people at these truck stops. Typically, I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying my experience. So, when you've got me in skinny jeans, in a beanie, with a van that looks like I'm a youth group pastor and 800 people piling out of it, and then I'm in the parking lot doing push-ups and squats, it's kind of an interesting sight. But he challenged me to do that. I went out to Texas and back doing it every time we stopped. And I can tell you, like, it really helps just, the ability to sit for long periods of time. I've got really tight hip flexors. And so, anything I can do to kind of keep movement and stretching going, then that's good for me. And my hip flexors are tight. I think it's 1, genetic, but 2, it's because I've always had a job where I've been either driving or traveling or sitting at a desk. And so, yeah, I've kind of, my body has been trained over the years to just be kind of like tightened up and in a ball. And then obviously that led to back pain and all kinds of stuff. So, but it's a new me. It's April 5th, and I'm just continuing to move forward with my health journey. I've actually thought about yoga. I don't know, Tony, maybe you've done yoga in the past. Somebody, I'm thinking about going out and finding somewhere to do yoga today. I don't know if that's something that it's like you can just show up to a yoga studio and do yoga, but yoga sounds like something that I want to experience, maybe just to try. I don't know, But I'm feeling really good, and now I'm just kind of up and open to experimentation. I also thought about bar, but then it's like, I don't know one. And look, I know in 2021 we don't see gender, right? We're not supposed to say man, woman, all that. I just don't know if I've ever seen anybody who's identified with a man inside of a bar studio. So Megan says, oh, interesting. Vin yoga above 15C. Okay. Vin yoga. I'm writing that down. Vin yoga. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to try yoga this week. The things I want to do when my wife's out of town. It's like mom's gone and I want to go play. I'm just kidding, Allison, if you're watching, which I know you're not. You're not watching. But anyway, so Vin yoga, I will check it out. Thanks, Megan, for the tip there. All right, so getting back to this week, we're going to do some replays. I want to have community people on. I think Jordan Traub is going to come on and do a real estate update for us. I want to try to get Templeton Historical Society back on this week. Tony did not have the idea. It was my idea to have the offensive line on for the football team, so maybe we'll get them on. I'd love to get some parents on this week, and whether you're a football parent or just a Templeton Unified School District parent, to come on to talk about all of the things that are going on in your household, positive, negative. This is a big community support group. This is what I want this platform to be. So, all right, at this time, it's 7:47. I've got about an 8-minute video. We made this video last year for Mr. Mack. Mr. Mack was nominated for a national award that where he was like the staff member of the year, right? And made it to the finals. And then, of course, the national award show that was supposed to happen in Florida that he got invited to got canceled because of COVID. And so kind of a bummer, but we made this video as part of the submission when we nominated him. And so let me see if I can get this to work. It didn't work last week, but I'll try it again. Templeton, California, a small town on the Central Coast nestled halfway between LA and San Francisco. A town of 7,000 that cherishes its traditions of cowboys and cattle ranches, yet also celebrates its present-day bustling wine country notoriety. It's in this town's high school that we find that one teacher who stands out among the rest. Truly one of those once-in-a-lifetime teachers who continues to make an impact on every single student he comes in contact with.
Mr. Mack has been here 3 or 4 years. I can't remember what year we're on, but he brings a spirit and a light, he just lifts the spirit here. And he's done it with the kids, and he encourages the kids to think outside the box. And he gives them great ideas, and he's encouraging, and the spirit is at really an all-time high. And we're so fortunate that he's here. He empowers kids. He lets them figure it out. And while they're figuring it out, they're turning into young adults, and it's awesome.
Matt McFarland is the ASB director for Templeton High School. In addition to leading the ASB program, Mr. Mack teaches a class on social media and Link Crew, which is a class focused on making a positive impact on the school's freshman students. Over the past 4 years he's been at the high school, he's made special connections with each and every student who's been lucky enough to have him. And in fact, some of those students have gifted him a hat from the college of which they've gone on to.
The UCLA one was a girl I had in 8th grade. Yeah, some of them are back a ways. That first one is Will Hayes.
Mr. McFarland is a huge asset to the THS athletics department. Some people don't know, he gets up at 5 in the morning and puts out a daily update of scores from the night before and recaps and things to highlight the kids. And it's something that I can't get to. Sometimes I'm caught in the day-to-day things, and he's taken athletics to a whole new level, and I'm so thankful for him on campus. He's irreplaceable. There's no one like him, especially when things get hard in here. He comes in and he's really positive, upbeat, and just wants to know the next great thing that the kids are doing. So I'm extremely appreciative. Thank you, Mr. Mack, for everything you do for athletics. You've helped take us to the next level.
I grew up without a dad, and so I did have a grandfather who was awesome to me. But I also had some great influence poured into my life through teachers, through coaches, through different male role models that came into my life, mostly through education. And because of that, I saw the importance of that played and the role that could play, and really wanted to, I really feel like I don't teach. I taught history originally, but I never really felt like I taught history. More I taught life, and I taught kids. And that's what I wanted to do, because I had people that spoke into my life when I was growing up, and I saw how important that was to me and the difference it made in my life.
The one thing that I was very impressed with Mr. Mack when I first met him was the ability that he has to create good relationships with students, and then and it's also been noted that the hard work that he's done to really create a good culture here at Templeton High School. He really reaches out to make sure that students feel like they belong, like that they're part of a family, that they're part of something bigger than themselves, and that really is where his talents lie, is the ability to get every kid to feel special and every kid to feel like they're part of a big family.
We like in Templeton to do everything the best we can. No second best. We want to be the best. We want to present ourselves the best we can. And so within about 36 hours, we created, working with our graphic design class, we created some amazing looking banners that we are putting up right now, so that we can get our football team pumped. And in order to pay for these, they were kind of pricey. In order to pay for them, parents group jumped in and paid for it, and a parents group, athletic boosters, and the student ASB leaders, they all threw in money because they wanted to have signs that showed our love and our support of our team. So we're walking down there right now to check them out, and they look sweet. Because, I mean, we just want to make sure it's up high enough that, oh, gee, we should put it right there. So when people are driving up, that'd be sweet. What I want to be remembered for, I want to be remembered because I was a loving person, that I was there when somebody needed them, that I cared more about people than I cared about stuff. And that, I guess the highest compliment would be that I made a difference.
All right, that's a video that we made. You can tell how old it is. It still had Lindsay in there as the athletic director, and you'll notice nobody had masks around their neck or on their faces. This was like way pre-pandemic. This was the last football season that we had before the pandemic. We made that. We submitted it, showing this group who Mr. Mack was, and he got nominated and subsequently made into the finals for one of the staff members of the year on a national competition. And so that was a fun video that I got to be a part of putting together, that unfortunately never kind of saw the light of day. And so I was glad that on this platform, I could share that with you guys, because Mr. Mack truly is one of those educators who makes an impact on a lot of students. And, growing up for me, I've got a number of different teachers that made an impact, a number of different teachers that made an impact on me, that I can still to this day remember, and I still talk to. And they obviously shared all of the same characteristics of Mr. Mack, right? Selfless, humble, educational, like informative, just really wanting to be that teacher that teaches kids, not necessarily directing kids what to do, but explaining the why, right? And so that for me was super important as a student growing up, because I hated school. I was not a big fan. I loved the social aspect. I loved the community aspect and the connecting aspect. But I didn't like people telling me what to do, shocker. So, but I love the teachers that took the time to explain the why, right? And kind of circle back and say, okay, based on my experience, this is what I've found, and this is why I would want to do it this way. What do you think, Mike? Like Mr. Mack's one of those teachers that kind of has that same approach. And so super cool. All right, at this time, it's 7:55. Time to check back with Mr. Anthony Reed to see what is going on in and around the North County. Any incidents to report?
Negative.
Perfect.
So it's just CHP is just doing their normal, not traffic breaks, I almost said that, but they're like construction zones on the highways and byways. So they're just doing that in South County. So that would be like the Napomo area and all down that way. They're not reporting any accidents, which is good. So they just want to keep the roadways safe, and just remember that it's not all about speed, it's all about safety.
All about speed and all about safety. All right. Well, that's good news. So, and we still have those control burns going on, I would imagine, through this week. And so if you see giant big billows of smoke, it's CAL FIRE control burns happening, that they're trying to just make sure that all the vegetation and brush is under control as we enter to this phase of fire season. So
yeah, and there was just a side note, there was a few spot fires in South County. Obviously, those have been mitigated over the weekend, but I think there's a fire that's down south, like in the LA area, or at least there was over the weekend. So. But nothing to report fire-wise up here so far.
All righty. Well, keep on those scanners and let us know what's going on at 8:55.
Will do.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anthony Reed, Paso Robles incidents and actions. Nothing to report really this morning. That's good news. All right. So it's 45 degrees outside right now in East Templeton. It's going to get up to about 70 degrees today. Little cloud cover. I typically make coffee here in the morning before the show, and we do a little French press deal. I think on one of the shows I talked about how our counter space has like 7 different coffee type maker things on it, and they all break, and so we've kind of resorted back to this French press deal. Well, this morning I didn't do the French press because I had 1,700 high school boys sleeping in the living room and all over the place in the kitchen because my wife's gone. And not, let me rephrase that, because the next part of that would mean that you guys think that my wife, like, I don't do the dishes. I make her do the dishes. My wife's gone, and so I'm kind of laxed on my dishes. Where typically I make it a point to make sure that the kitchen is kind of kept up throughout the day, so that everyone comes home to kind of a nicer looking kitchen. But, you know, because she's not here to come home to that right now, I just kind of let the dishes go over the weekend. And so our sink has a lot of dishes piled in it, which I'm going to tackle right after we get off the air here. But so anyways, back to coffee. I didn't want to make coffee this morning because I didn't want to wake all the sleeping, smelly beasts out in the living room, AKA the high schoolers. And then also it was just a disaster in the kitchen. And so I didn't want to kind of do some cleaning before making coffee. So I just got in the van, drove to Starbucks. And on my way to Starbucks, I know this is a long journey for me to talk about the weather. You're sticking with me though. On my way to Starbucks, I'm almost certain I saw big flash of lightning happening. Did anyone else see lightning? Is there lightning going on? Yeah, so crazy lightning. It was like the whole sky lit up. And so I don't know if it was actually lightning or like a transformer explosion or what. But anyways, back to the weather. I saw lightning. I'm pretty sure I saw lightning this morning. It's kind of cloudy. It's supposed to have some sunshine peeking out between 10 and 11. Oh, 10 o'clock just changed. Now they're saying it's cloudy. So sun's peeking out between 11 and noon. But kind of mostly cloud cover throughout the rest of the day. The rest of the week, we're going to be in the mid 70s, some cloud cover Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mid 70s, and all sunshine. So that sounds fun. That sounds like a delightful week. And so, yeah, perfect week to get outside and exercise or something. So, Mindy, thank you for replying to Mike Brendler. She's going to help get some banners. Hey, Mindy, question for you. Are people allowed to buy those banners and then donate them back to get them hung at the stadium? I'm just thinking. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a cool thing or not. I was just thinking if, like, I wouldn't buy a banner and put it out at my house because nobody drives by my house. But I would put it back at the school. I don't know. Anyways, or donate it to a business. I don't know. So weather, is going to be nice. It's going to be a little cloudy, but we've had some breezes happening, so that's interesting. I've been kind of dried out. I've been drinking a gallon of water plus a day, which has really helped me, but I'm still feeling really dried out because of the weather. And so, oh, look what Facebook just told me. Tony Domingos is celebrating a birthday today. I will not say how old Tony is, but Tony, this is for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you. All right, there you go, Tony. Tony Domingos celebrating a birthday today. Congratulations. Hopefully Shelly and the boys do something nice for you. I don't know. Maybe you should play golf today. Just a thought. Oh, maybe I should start doing birthdays. I don't know. See, the options are endless with because this isn't like a platform. This isn't a show that's run by major corporations. I can do whatever I want. I could grab my guitar and play for 2 hours if I want, but I wouldn't like that. All right, Tony, happy birthday. So, all right, we're getting back into more kind of best of running some footage from other interviews that we've had over the last 4 weeks. The first 4 weeks, the first month of the show have been great. It's been such a great experience to be just connecting with everybody in the community and learning about the different aspects of the school and all the clubs and everything that's going on. And so I've really enjoyed myself, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it as well. Okay, I'm going to play this video. It's Jack Chirac. Jack is the one of the founders and leaders of the esports club at Templeton High School. Esports, in case you don't know, esports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's you see your kids in there playing video games all the time. Esports is literally video game competitions, and it turns out it's a very viable career for a person to have as we continue to move, into the future. So there's plenty of esports athletes around the world that are training and part of these major franchises. There's big time business moguls that are buying these esports franchises and forming them and creating professional teams with really good participants. What do you call them? You don't call them athletes. You call them esport athletes, I guess, right? And so esports is a thing. It's really cool. And so Jack Chirac put together this esports club at Templeton High School. They do competitions with other schools, and they just have a fun time with it. So I'm going to replay that interview right now. Jack's a great kid. He's a senior. It's just another example of all of the awesomeness that Templeton High School has to offer our students. So here we go. Let's see if I can get this thing rolling. So, all right, at this time, it's 8:29. Let's welcome in Mr. Jack Chirac. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so here we are. You're a senior, right?
Yeah, I am in these strange times.
Right, yeah. So are you cohort A or B?
I'm B. It's kind of notoriously been the less active cohort, but that's okay. I'm making do.
Okay. Well. So tell me, what was it like getting back on the campus?
Oh, getting back on the campus. I actually had a free period first, so I didn't get the nice welcome and I didn't get a complimentary mask. But that's okay. Each of my classes only had 6-7 people in it, so I honestly liked it. It felt more like one-on-one. I felt more attentive almost, especially in my math class, believe it or not.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I can imagine it would be kind of a different environment with a small class setting like that.
It really is.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, let's talk esports this morning. So you've got this club on campus, and everybody that I've talked to about you coming on has told me that you're a rock star, and this club is awesome, and it's just you're. Who told me? Oh, it was Becca Coles said Jack is the most active club on campus with what you guys are doing. So tell me about Esports Club.
I mean, yeah, we really try. So actually, funny story. When it was first being created, it was just an idea. It was really, started as a passion project. And there was the club meeting where all the returning clubs and the new clubs, all of their presidents would come to present their club to Mr. Mack and Becca and a couple of the ASB members. So at the last minute, I sat in on the meeting, and once everybody left, and Mr. Mack was like, "Hey Jack, what's up? You got a question or something?" I was like, "Okay, I've got an idea. I'm just, a little embarrassed to say it." And they're like, "Go right on ahead." And so I presented the idea for Esports Club, and they were just all in, and it was Mr. Mack and Becca's support on that felt like that good, start off support, I'd say. And so, yeah, I mean, since then we've just been doing as much as we can. And ever since the beginning, we've wanted Esports Club to be very community based. That's been the center of it. That's why we've invited other schools, and, we pick up tournaments where we do, new players getting involved and stuff like that. So yeah, it started then, and since probably 5th grade, I'd say, I've been making just little videos, just on my phone or whatever smart device I have. So I wanted to use that for social media. I wanted to be the social media person. So yeah, all of a sudden, I just switched the work ethic switch on and just went full on grinding. And so basically, for people that don't know, esports is competitive video games, and where people can compete in a certain video game with certain rules, a certain bracket for prizes, whatever people want to go for, and whatever we decide to make the actual prize. We've held 2 big tournaments so far. As you can see on the screen, yeah, that's the bracket for the most recent event that we did, which involved Templeton, Paso, and Atascadero. We had 8 teams there, and it was super, super fun. I commentated the whole thing and invited a bunch of people on, and the winners got $100 for a prize, and it was super cool.
All right, so I'm going to stop you right there. So we've got 3 schools competing in this tournament, and the 3 schools had a total of 8 teams, right?
Yeah, out of all the 3 teams, there was 8 total teams.
Okay, so basically every school has 2 teams or 3 teams.
Yeah, give or take.
And are you playing one game, one type of game, or?
So per tournament, yeah, it's one type of game, but the club itself does all different types of games from various different platforms.
And so how do you guys determine which game you're going to play at the tournament?
Well, after we finish an event, we kind of go into brainstorming mode. So basically, our kind of workflow is once we finish an event, we think of games that invite the most amount of people or events that invite the most amount of people. So that the game that you'll see most often on our account is Rocket League, which is that game right there.
Okay.
And the reason we like that is just because it's a super it's definitely very competitive and is very much based on the player's skill. So, and it's also cross-platform, meaning anybody who has, you know, like a PlayStation or an Xbox or a computer can play on the same thing. So we usually choose things that are cross-platform or that a lot of people want to see.
So in a post-pandemic world, are you guys in person at a venue playing together, or is it all virtual?
So it's been all virtual, which is, you know, one big reason why I wanted to go so hard with this club, because, you know, like with COVID, everything's getting locked down and there's all this, you know, tension between so many people. So I just thought, you know, video games can be a lax thing, even if it's a competition, it could just be for, you know, for fun and just a little kickback thing. So I just see esports as this unifying thing, and it's not something a lot of people are familiar with around here until now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're doing all virtual right now, but as you can see in our most recent post, it's for there's a Beat Saber event that we're about to send out some signups for, and that's going to be in person. We're hoping to hold that at the Templeton Pack.
Okay, that's Beat Saber Showdown. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that one.
All right, let me pull that up here. Where is it? This guy.
Yeah, so that's actually me in the photo. I just took that at a tunnel at the school on like a Sunday, and then I edited it on like Photoshop on my computer. But yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing a virtual reality headset. So this game is a virtual reality game.
Awesome.
It's just a simple like rhythm game where like blocks come at you and you slice them with lightsabers, but it's really cool.
So have you gotten any pushback from the staff or the teachers about you bringing illegal lightsabers onto campus?
No, not yet. I didn't specifically ask them to do that. I mean, it was on a Sunday. But as far as the event itself, I asked Mr. Aston himself, and he approved it as long as I reserved a spot at the school.
That's awesome. So cool. Yeah, that's a great photo. You just set your camera on a tripod and ran over and took it?
I actually had my sister do it. She's going to college for computer animation. She's done photography her whole life. So I was like, can you take a photo of me? She was kind of reluctant to do it because she just got her wisdom teeth out recently.
Oh,
but thankfully, she came on campus, just took it with her phone. I converted the files, and I edited it on my computer.
That's cool. That's a great shot.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so you're diving in. You're the social media guy for the esports club. How big's the club?
Yeah, so I mean, as you know, like the president of the club, we've really built it from the ground up. But right now, I mean, it's a debatable statement, but I'd say we're one of the biggest clubs at the high school right now. I think we've got over 40 members in the Google Classroom right now.
Really?
Yeah, just since, you know, just from minor promotion on the actual Google Classroom itself, because we have the Google Classroom, and if you've ever heard of Discord, we've got that too. That's kind of mainly where we communicate.
Okay.
So we've got that with probably more people too.
Okay. So your tournaments that you guys have, like how long does it last? Is it an all-day thing? Is it a multi-day thing? What does that look like? So
far, we've it's been a one-day event. So for the recent tournament we did, where like I casted the whole thing, we had a format. The actual time where there was games going on was like 5.5 hours. It's all on our YouTube. If you would want to like check that out or something like that, it's just THS Esports Club. But yeah, the full tournament's on the YouTube, and that lasted, 5 to 6 hours. I think in total, I was sitting down at my computer for about 7 hours talking the entire time. So it was definitely exhausting. And the day after, I definitely had a bit of a sore throat, but it was still so fun. It was definitely our biggest event.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, it's I can imagine. I do the show for 2 hours, and 2 hours of talking really takes it out of you, but 7 hours is that's quite a task.
Yeah, it is a lot. I mean, I've gotten used to, thinking on my feet and stuff with mock trial, being an attorney and things like that. So I think some preface kind of helps that out, I'd say.
Yeah. I'm trying to find your esports club YouTube page to pull up.
Yeah, it sometimes autocorrects to the esports club. So if you scroll to the top after searching it and says search instead for THS esports club, you'll see it there.
THS esports club.
But yeah, like the club has really, led me to meet a lot of people. Like a couple people in this tournament that we did about a month ago. There was 2 members of a college in Vermont that participated, and now we're involved with Sonoma State right now, who want us to help out with their big Rocket League event that they want to put on. So we're hopefully going to be announcing that soon as well.
Okay, so when you say you're involved in it, it's their tournament that they're putting on, but they're asking you to be involved by playing in it, or?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a little bit more. So they saw that, from this event, they saw that, THS Esports put it on. So somebody graduated from Templeton last year and is going to Sonoma, and then he got me in touch with somebody else, and so we've been talking back and forth. So he said that they wanted to put on a Rocket League event with a bunch of California high schools, and they wanted me to get all of these players together and kind of, make it a bit of a partnership, you could say.
Sure. No, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
How fun. So when is that supposed to take place?
They're looking to have it at some time in April.
Okay.
My guess is it's going to be after spring break, but we'll see.
Sure. Okay. So what are your plans for the esports club? I mean, you're graduating. It's obviously going to continue. Are you going to kind of act as an advisor at that point, or what's your plan?
Well, right now we're just trying to, get as much foundation as we can. It was full steam ahead, and Farley and Mr. Mack are really involved, and they really see potential with this club. So they actually offered me a chance to convert it more from a club to an actual CIF organization, and it was something I was thinking about from the beginning. And it's something I really wanted to do, but after I turned it down because I feel like we didn't have the foundation, we didn't have enough support, and people would have to have a certain grade, have a certain citizenship thing, and be drug tested for video games. And I think it would just take the fun out of it initially. So that's something we're looking for maybe 1 or 2 years down the line. But for right now, we're just trying to invite as many people as we can to get involved. And then I'll hand the reins to somebody else, and they can take it in their own creative way.
Yeah. So what do you plan on doing after high school?
Interestingly enough, I went to Northern Arizona University in November, and I talked to one of the media guys that just kind of runs the operation there, and I talked to him about esports, my plans for it, and what I'm doing with the club already. And I finished up the conversation, and he was like, "Dude, I want you doing that here. I want you here in my building." And I was like, "What?" And I was sitting there taking pictures of the NAU esports logo, and I was like pointing out the different hardware that they had and everything. So he said that, and I was blown away. I was like, "You want me for your esports stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah, come lead my team." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So yeah, I just recently got accepted to go to NAU. Awesome. And for creative media and film, and so I'll be in that major working in tandem with the esports department on building it more, because they like us see the huge potential for it, and the huge scope of things.
Sure. Yeah, it's a $1 billion industry at this point, and so it's only getting more and more popular, right?
Yeah, especially with people now, because I feel like everybody, the way they consume media is very fast and very rapid. So, this compared to maybe a baseball game, as much as, I like baseball, it's just so much more high speed and intense. They're not intense in the same way, but you know, you got to react to stuff so fast in video games. So it kind of matches my generation, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's cool. So your sister's in the creative arts, and you're in the creative arts.
Yep.
Are your parents in the creative arts?
No, they're very different people, actually. My dad, he's worked in, you know, like sales related things, and he's got a bunch of companies on his hand right now. And my mom went to college for nursing, has been doing various health related things from then until now, pretty much.
Well, that's great that they've created a house environment where you and your sister have the ability to pursue creative passions like that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And she's been able to work in tandem with our club too. Like I asked her to create our logo. We've gotten a special eagle logo. It's actually the profile picture for a couple of our things. And she actually created that for me. So yeah, we get to kind of work together, and I think it's pretty cool.
So who created that?
The eagle logo itself was my sister, Lily Sharrock.
Okay, let me see here. That's this guy right there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's her.
That's cool. Yeah,
I think we might have made a post about it. If you want to see it in a bigger scale. Yeah, there it is.
This guy right there.
Yeah, there it is. There's my mom commenting sweet logo because she knows her kids made it.
That's awesome. Dude, look at that eagle. That's killer.
Yeah, I'm really fond of it.
That's cool.
We're hoping to put it on some merch soon.
I was gonna say I want that on a shirt.
Yeah, so believe it or not, this club actually led me to get sponsored by a company called Gamerware, and they're just like a small like clothing company directed towards gamers, you could say. And so being an affiliate, I got an email the other day saying, hey, it's your time to create some merch with your brand. So I was like, whoa, okay. So I just submitted that logo and a bit of an idea for a shirt. Yeah. And hopefully soon people can start buying t-shirts through their website, and maybe we can look into making hats, because we have an embroidery machine at the school that we have access to for like the engineering students. Okay. So hopefully we'll get to do that. So yeah, I mean, we've got big ideas, and I've got big aspirations and hopes for this club for sure.
Yeah. So how do you keep yourself organized?
Ooh, I mean, one thing with the club is that I just keep on moving, and I just keep on working on things. I'm constantly editing pictures and videos for it. But honestly, as far as organization, it's all mental. I mean, I've got our plans and stuff written down with bullet points where everybody can see it in our Google Classroom. But I usually just keep it, like mental. The only problem I have with this club is that I can't. I'm not very good at communicating like my like what I want people to do and my ideas for them. So I'll just try to think out loud in front of them, because that's the best that I could do.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way to do it, right? Create that environment where everybody can just throw things out and not be judged, and have that collaboration, the active collaboration, if you will.
Yeah, that's what we've really tried to do with meetings, where it's very discussionary, and I'm really fond of it now. That's
great. All right, I got a couple more questions here. Your gaming console, what do you game on?
All right, so there's a bit of a war between PlayStation and Xbox, but I personally play on Xbox if we're leaning to the side of things, but I also play on PC as well.
Okay. All right. So Xbox and PC, and then for your creative digital stuff that you're doing, are you PC or Mac?
I'm definitely PC for that one. I'm pretty sure you're using a Mac, so I don't want to throw any kind of shade, but I'm very much a PC and like Windows side of things.
Okay, all right. And so Adobe products?
Yeah. I'm using all the Adobe programs. I'm in graphic design too, so we got to take home like computers made for this. So like my computer, I don't have the money to upgrade my computer yet. So. And Adobe's super expensive, so I've just been using the school stuff and transferring flash drives between computers pretty much.
So the school gave you a computer to use at home?
Yeah, for all the graphic students. So I've just been, using it for school and also my club.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, so, okay, what's your schedule like, your class schedule right now?
So I've got kind of weird like free periods. Like on white days, I have a free period first, and then I have a full day. And on green days, I have 2 periods, and then I have the rest of the day off. So it's kind of strange. But usually, I mean, I'll just like I'm always trying to kind of pack my weekdays. So I think right now with this new schedule, I just go to school, and then once I finish, I come home, work on homework and esports, and then I go to either work or I go to like soccer, and then I'll come home and continue to work on like esports or something like that.
So you're doing soccer as well?
Yeah, that just recently kicked off. We've got a game next Tuesday actually against Tascadero, which is pretty exciting.
That is cool. So how many hours a day are you spending on esports?
Before now, I was probably spending on average probably 1 or 2. I mean, I don't know. There are some days where I would work like 4 or 5 just because I was so into it. But other days I work only 1 just because of time and stuff like that. Like if my mind ever sits still, I think about esports and I think about what I want to do. Like it's always on my mind.
Now, how much time do you spend a day actually gaming yourself?
I actually spend less time gaming than working on the club. I usually play with my buddy who lives in Minnesota. So we get on at night usually, and we'll just run a quick couple games with each other just so we can catch up and stuff like that. We play it recreationally.
Yeah. Now you guys are obviously talking to each other the whole time you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean we've got like our headsets on and our microphones hooked up and everything.
Okay, so music or no music playing in the background?
That's a really good question. If I'm playing with people, I don't go music, because if I'm hearing, you got your game audio, you got another person talking, you got yourself talking, you got music, and it's too much. I can't multitask very well. I just like to zone in on one thing, so I can't do that very well. But like if I'm running something where game audio isn't too much of a necessity, I'll just run either some like lo-fi or a bit of just like rap in the background to I guess hype me up a little bit.
All right. And so do you listen to music when you're actually doing work? Like
yeah, I do. I mean I try to listen to stuff without lyrics, or else I'll focus on the lyrics and try to like sing the song and stuff like that. So I've been actually listening to a lot of rock recently. Not a lot, but like a YouTuber that I follow puts out his own music content, so I've been listening to that recently, and so it's gotten me a little bit back into the guitar.
Who's that?
So his name is actually Harris Heller, or his YouTube channel is like Alpha Gaming. He's just a pretty cool guy. He's been in the streaming business for a while, and he's got really good advice on taking your social media persona and acting on it as if it were a business instead of just like a passion project.
Sure. Yeah.
And so he creates copyright-free music on Spotify, on his website, and it's called Stream Beats. It's aimed at streamers. They just came out with a rock album called Demon, which I'm pretty fond of.
Oh, that's cool. Huh. That's crazy. Okay, so do you talk about how your streaming capabilities work? What platforms do you use to put it all together and put it out?
So I use all PC for this. I really have to make do with what I can, just because of my computer not being extremely powerful. So I have I've got a software called Streamlabs OBS, and Streamlabs is a separate thing and OBS is a separate thing, but they basically just went and put it together in one program. And basically how it works is you can just set up scenes, and then there are things within that scene. So you can see it on the entire Twitch stream that we did is on our YouTube. So basically, like there's the scenes, different screens, like you can get it to display "Be Right Back," or like an intermission screen, or like an in-game screen, and you can put various little things on top of it. So if you just set up the scenes with different displays in there, it's actually pretty simple. I didn't explain it very well, but all you do is set up the scenes and then hit live, and you got people in your chat. It'll show them they subscribe or follow, and it's saved all on our YouTube.
Yeah, no, I looked at using Streamlabs OBS for this show, but ended up going with Restream. And Restream's, I mean, it's simple. It does the trick. My biggest issue is connectivity and Wi-Fi living out in the country. That's the hard part. Is I'm on a Wi-Fi signal that's a satellite, right? So I'm not
Makes sense.
hardwired in. Are you on a cable internet?
I mean, my devices are wireless, but yeah, our like home is wired and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. And so your Wi-Fi speed is sufficient for you to be able to do tournament stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the only time I ever have problems if everybody's streaming something. I mean, I live in a family of 6, so and everybody likes to stay occupied with what they're doing. So if people are watching Disney Plus and watching Netflix and watching YouTube, then it'll kind of tank the internet a little bit. But I just asked everybody to get out of the house on the tournament day, and they're like, okay. So it was just fine.
That's awesome. How cool. Well, Jack, thanks for spending time with us this morning. I want you to do me a favor and please come back anytime that you have something that you want to promote. I do want to dive more into actual like a game. Like I think what was the game that you said that you're playing, the Saber?
Oh, Beat Saber, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk more about that as you guys get closer to that. Do you know when that's going to take place?
I'd say a bit of a ballpark. We're aiming to have the actual event before spring break, which is mid to early April.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Please come back on as it gets closer. We'll talk about that and maybe set up some screen sharing capabilities, and you can actually walk us through a game.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming on. All right. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
See ya. All right, that's Jack Chirac from the Templeton Esports Club at Templeton High School. It's fascinating. It blows my mind that we're all right. So yeah, as I was saying, it is fascinating that these kids are able to dive into something like that and find passion and just explore different things, right? I mean, it's really cool to see. Jack Chirac, thanks so much for being on the show. And I do want to make sure that we get Jack back on so he can screen share, do some gaming, and we can kind of I don't know, maybe I'll game with him. I'm terrible at gaming, by the way. I'm like I have no what's the word? Focus, right? I can't focus, and it's just I get bored really quickly with video games for some reason. But Jack, yeah, for sure, you're gonna come back on, share some screens, and we'll do some stream gaming and all that fun stuff. I'm rubbing my hands in case you're wondering why my shoulders are looking like they're moving and whatnot. I put lotion on my hands. It's this no crack stuff. As Matt Garrett from Irish Oak says, oh, good, you're using a lotion with a bunch of stuff in the ingredients that you can't pronounce, which is exactly right. Oh, and then he also said that there's also things in this lotion that are in lighter fluid or something. I don't know. So yeah, I need to get over to Irish Oaks Ranch. I was supposed to get over there on Friday and I didn't. It was a super chaotic day. Trying to get to the football game, trying to just get the rest of the day wrapped up. I had to get tires on the van, which, by the way, I highly suggest Mark's Tire in Paso. They are not a sponsor of the show, but Mark Jennings runs a great business. He's a great guy, and Mark has always just done a good job of taking care of us and our family. So thanks, Mark, for the tires on Friday. So Tony's telling me I'm supposed to stop saying his name on the show. So I won't say that Tony texted me, but Tony texted me and put me in touch with Rolf Gerung, who, if you've been a part of the community for any amount of time, you know that he is a local musician, super talented songwriter, Nashville songwriter that's based here locally that plays out. He plays acoustic solo shows, and then he's got a band called Rolf and the Chaos. They play out and about pretty much. They've been playing for years. used to play with Emily back in the day, and so you've probably seen Rolf playing at some point. Tony put me in touch with him. Again, I got to stop saying Tony's name. I keep forgetting. But I got in touch with Rolf this morning during Jack's interview. Rolf's agreed to come on the show and play, do a little acoustic number for us, which kind of got me thinking. I think we need to do a weekly artist showcase. I think that would be a lot of fun, especially as we get back into the months of sunshine and sunrise, sunset, sunset, repeat, whatever that song is. But as we get into, good barbecue, beer, wine, celebration weather, music, live music, the pandemic's kind of allowing us to open back up to some of the live venue stuff. So, as we get back into it, I want to start doing an artist showcase weekly. And so that's one of the things that I thought about while Jack's video was playing. So we'll get Rolf on. Rolf said that he's going to come on. With that being said, speaking of two girls who are trying things and doing things, good morning, girls. How are you?
Hi, we're good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, Jordan and Emma are the hosts of the podcast Voices from the Nest. You could find it I listened to it on iTunes, but it is on Spotify, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure Amazon and basically anywhere where you listen to your podcast, you could find Voices from the Nest. And so, okay, which one's Jordan? Which one's Emma?
I'm Jordan and I'm Emma.
Okay, awesome. How are you girls?
We're good. We're happy to be on here. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for joining me. So we'll talk real briefly about like what it's like to be back at school. And I know you talked about it on your last podcast, so we can dive into that a little, but I really want to pick your brain on podcasting in general, because I know that you guys have a passion for it and you do it not only for the school, but you do it personally. And so we could talk about, I want to kind of dive into the nuts and bolts of how you guys set that up and all that fun stuff. Okay. So here we are almost 2 weeks into being back. What's it like?
It's just nice to be back at school. And I think, even going 2 days sucks a little bit. It's a great way to kind of inch your way into it because it's definitely different. Our normal kind of became unnormal. Yeah.
Sure. So when you're staying at home for the year, are you mentally thinking, I can't make my brain think that this is normal because I know we're going to go back. So I'm just going to keep pretending that this is like, and then all of a sudden it's a full year that's gone by and you're like, holy crap, that was normal. Now
Yeah.
it's normal. And now we're back at school and it's not normal, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so wild. So, okay, so I heard that the kids are starting to loosen up a little. Everybody's kind of getting back to some type of normalcy, right?
Yep. I think
Yeah.
we're getting, used to it. And like anything, I think you just adapt eventually.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and besides podcasting, are you girls involved in any other activities through the school?
I did swim and I played tennis, but I chose not to this year just because it conflicted with other stuff. And but I know that they're all doing super great right now, and it's so exciting that they're back. And I definitely want to like go check out a couple of their matches or meets if they'll let us.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I
Um,
just basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah.
Nice. Are you playing this year?
Yeah, hopefully we're starting practice soon, but I haven't really heard anything about games or anything. I think because it's indoor, it's a little bit more like on the skeptical side of are we going to do it, are we not? But we'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's hope that you guys do get a season. That would be fun. And I do know that they're going to be streaming all events in the gym, so that's exciting. So people can actually watch you guys. It'd be kind of like watching a practice though, because there's not going to be any spectators there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's talk about the podcast. What motivated you guys to start Voices from the Nest? Is that something that you pitched to Mr. Mack and said we want to do this?
Well, so actually, it's funny. Mr. Mack had reached out to us, and he had listened to our personal podcast that we had done, and he reached out and was like, "Would you guys be interested in doing something for the school?" And we were like, "Yes, for sure. That sounds like a great way to be involved, and especially now with the coronavirus, I feel like it's so important for everyone to just kind of connect, even if it's virtually."
Absolutely. And so, did you? So, how did you guys get into podcasting?
I think we're just, we're chatty and we think we're funny sometimes. So we were just like, let's just make our own personal podcast. I don't think we really expected a lot to come from it. It was just something we wanted to try. And obviously it's like a new set of skills you can learn. So we thought that would be cool. So yeah, we just decided it's something we haven't done before. We had the time because we're all in quarantine. So we gave it a shot.
Yeah.
And now, are you guys friends outside of the podcast? Like, were you friends first, and then you decided to do this as a project?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we've
cool.
been friends for like 4
Since
years
freshman
now.
year,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Okay. And so, your personal podcast, how long have you guys been doing that?
Almost a year now.
Mhm.
We started last like March or April. So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Very cool. And so, tell me what. Were you guys doing it virtually, or were you doing it in a setting together for the most part during quarantine? How did that work?
We'd go on walks every day outside, and then so I think we kind of started being more cautious around each other, and then we'd wear masks, and then I think eventually we just spent so much time together that
We just decided to do the
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Very cool. And so, what's your setup like? Is it 2 microphones? Is it 1 microphone? How do you do it?
So Jordan has an empty room in her house, so we changed it into like a podcast room. So we have like a couch, and then we have a microphone, and then we just like have our computer, and it's perfect for us, and it works really well.
And so, do you guys film your podcast too?
when we first started our personal one, we did a couple times, but we didn't really have anywhere to put it. And I don't think we really weren't looking to YouTube or anything like that. So not anymore, but we did at one point.
Yeah, when I started mine, because I have another podcast that I just started. I was filming it for a minute, and I just couldn't get the film quality to be where I wanted it to be. And the sound was good, but it was because I was running the sound through the computer, and the film quality, the lighting. I mean, there's so many different things that go into filming that, you don't think about. And so, yeah, if you turn out a product that doesn't look good, but it's a great podcast content wise, you're like, crap, do I put it out? Do I not put it out? But
Exactly. That's how we felt. Yeah.
so what's the name of your personal podcast?
It's called Trainwreck.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just kind of talk about like friendship, just like how we're doing in life.
We talked about us going to college and, us being seniors. There's just, I don't know, just teenage stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your plans next year?
So I'm going to a 4-year, and I'm going to major in nursing. So I'm very excited about that.
Fantastic.
I'm supposedly going abroad. Obviously, it's a little up in the air with COVID, but as of right now, I'm going. So hopefully, we'll see though.
Oh, fun. Well, that's going to be a life experience that you'll never forget if you get to go, right?
100%. Yeah, I'm super excited.
So cool. All right. So nuts and bolts of podcasting. I record into a program called Logic, which is Apple's, audio program. And then I take it and I edit it in there, and then I dump it into a platform called Anchor.fm, and then Anchor shoots it out all over the internet, right? So tell me about how you guys produce your podcast.
So we use GarageBand. It was just like simplest thing for us because we had no idea how to work computers or anything like that. So we use GarageBand, we edit it on there, and then we use a platform called Buzzsprout, which we're able to just upload on there like you, and then it spreads to everywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so cool. And so do you guys have like goals and aspirations for the personal podcast? Do you want it to turn into something that's like a sponsored podcast? And what are you thinking?
I think when we originally started, that was the goal. But once we started the school one, I think that took priority. So we definitely focus more on the school one than ours. As of right now, I think maybe when summer starts again, we can hopefully get a couple more episodes up before we go off to college. But with the school podcast happening, that definitely took priority.
Yeah. And we definitely want to, like, when we come home for college, we want to like do an episode. We were already talking about that. Like, oh, hey, like we're together again, something like that. But for now, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Sure. And so no plans to do it virtually while you guys are separated?
No,
probably
not. I just unfortunately don't think it would be plausible, especially being on the other side of the world and time zone.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be tough. All right. So the Voices from the Nest podcast you guys put out, I'm going to pull it up here. Let's see. Where do I go to? Templeton Schools High School. Mr. Mack gave me the high school website and I lost the link. But if I go onto the Templeton, it's templetonhs.schoolloop.com is the official school website. And there's a link on there for the podcast, correct?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Where's my screen share? Oh, all right. So where are we looking here?
So if you go to maybe click activities,
I thought it was on the homepage.
or it should be on the homepage as well.
Oh, okay. So let's scroll. Students and parents. I know I've seen it.
I know. I think, yeah, you maybe keep scrolling because I've also seen it on there.
I know we did also just recently update and kind of went through and cleaned up our homepage a little bit. So might have got.
Oh,
Here's news from the Nest.
Yeah.
Not it.
Okay. Well, Mr. Mack's looking right now, so maybe later we can.
I'm sending it to him right now.
Oh, he's sending it to you
Oh,
right
he's sending it. Okay, cool. So we're gonna pull that up. But so how often are you guys recording?
Around every other week.
Okay.
Sometimes, obviously with like breaks and stuff, it's a little here and there, but usually every other Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, and so and you guys launched the school podcast when?
I want to say the first week of school. We interviewed Mr. Assen, I believe, leading up to the week of school, and then had it out, I think, that first Friday.
Yeah, we just wanted to like go straight into it. We had already been talking to Mr. Mack over the summer, and we were just like, okay,
Ready to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so who else have you had on the podcast?
Oh my goodness.
We've had
So many people.
We had Miss Hendrickson. We've had a couple kids from drama, kids from various sports. We've had a lot of people on there.
Yeah, just like a whole bunch of students and like the staff.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so here's the first edition, came out in August, back to school. And then you're just putting them out. That's so awesome. So what's the funnest part? I don't know if funnest is funnest even a word? What part is the most fun of the process of doing the podcast for you?
For me personally, I do like talking to other people, but I also like when Emma and I get to kind of just banter a little bit. I think because that's what our podcast started off as. So I think that's my favorite thing. I also like interviewing people, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I like to spend time with Jordan, and I also like to interview people and just like kind of get to know some students that I normally wouldn't really see around if we're in different grades, or like Miss Hendrickson, for example. Like I had never met her or anything like that before we interviewed her, and she's super cool, and stuff like that.
So you guys actually like the part of the podcast experience of actually creating that content.
Yeah.
And so when you go into planning, or do you know when you turn the mic on what you're going to talk about, or is it just like, hey, what do you want to talk about this week, and go?
We usually have a plan, and I don't want to say we script it, but we definitely have like bullet points of what we want to talk about and what we, want to hit and what we want to avoid. And
so we kind of have like a general idea.
Yeah. For me, it's always been like being in front of a microphone and speaking. It's always been a form of therapy for me. I just absolutely love it because audio as a way to tell stories is just a fascinating thing. And so podcasting with one of your best friends is like a dream come true. That's an awesome experience that you guys get to share together, right?
Yeah,
100%. It's so nice.
And it definitely is like therapeutic, because I think after we finished, we're always like, oh my God, like I forgot. Sometimes you forget in between how much you love doing it, but you always have fun.
Yeah.
And so what you're going to go into nursing, Emma, and then Jordan, what do you want to do with your life?
As of right now, international business, but maybe communications. We'll see.
So do you think that podcasting will be something that you guys are always doing, either together or separately, kind of just as a form of release and entertainment for yourself?
I personally want to keep podcasting. I know my college has a podcast already, and I definitely want to get into that, or like even start my own little club, or just something. I definitely want to keep podcasting for a really long time. I love it.
So cool. Have you guys listened to the podcast about the Kristen Smart case? Not to get like super dark and sad, but from a production standpoint, that guy he's a masterful storyteller, and the way he put together each of those episodes is phenomenal, right?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Emma and I love that podcast.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, his use of sounds and the story arc of each episode, and then just all of it put together is one of the most beautifully done podcasts I've ever listened to. I'm trying to get that guy on the show too, because he's local. He's from Santa Maria. And not so much to talk about the content of his podcast, but more to just understand his process, because he's got it. It's an art, right?
It's amazing. I remember I was like, Jordan, you need to listen to this podcast. And we listened to it on a drive to I think it was LA.
Yeah, we had a road trip, and it was right after we started, kind of. So we were really into podcasts and trying to, learn and listen to other people's, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What are some of your other favorite podcasts?
So I think ours together would probably be In Your Own Backyard, the Kristen Smart one. And then I really like Crime Junkie. I love true crime, so Crime Junkie for me for sure.
I like Crime Junkie too. I like the TED Talks too. They have just short podcasts, which are almost pretty much the same as just a normal TED Talk, but you can just find them on Spotify, those are nice to listen to as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, how about Joe Rogan? Do you guys listen to the king of podcasts?
I've listened to a couple. My dad loves him. So I've definitely heard him in the background, and I've listened to a couple of his, and he's pretty good.
All the old dads like him.
Yeah.
That's such a dad podcast.
It totally is. Yeah.
So when I was 19 years old, I worked at a radio station in Los Angeles, and I was a producer of a show that had a guy that hosted it, had all these comedians coming in all the time to talk. And, talk shows on the radio are kind of like podcasts. But one of our guests we had on was Joe Rogan, and that was like his first experience in front of a microphone, hosting. And then the regular host would go on vacation, and Joe Rogan would come in and like guest host the show. And so that's like a cool part of history for me to think back to when Joe Rogan got his start, right? So
that's awesome. I would be bragging about that every single day.
But it's like so cool. His podcast has been going on for 10 years. And his goal when he started was just for him and his buddy to have a good time. And they never promoted it. They never got sponsors. They never did any of that. It was just them turning on the mic and going. And it's turned into this thing that's just such a cultural phenomenon, right? And dads all over the world love Joe Rogan. So yeah, something to aspire to, I guess, right? Because he's unfiltered. He doesn't pretend to be the smartest guy in the room. He just hosts the conversation and is a great interviewer, right?
He is. Yeah,
he's really good.
So cool. Well, girls, I appreciate you taking the time today. I look forward to listening to upcoming episodes. And anytime you guys want to come on here and promote a new episode, by all means, like this is your platform too. We have over 1,000 views of our show every single day, and so the community is watching and listening to everything that you guys have going on at the school. And obviously your podcast, Voices from the Nest, is something that's super exciting for the community. So here it is. It's on Spotify. This is the Spotify link. You can just go to Spotify and search for Voices from the Nest. It's Emma Lawrence and Jordan Gall. How do you pronounce your last name, Jordan?
Gallus.
Gallus. Okay. Jordan Gallus and Emma Lawrence, Voices from the Nest. Well, thanks so much, girls, for being on today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we really
All right. You guys have a good one. Bye.
You too.
See ya. All right. That's the Voices from the Nest podcast. It's Templeton High School's official podcast, and those girls do an awesome job. Okay, it's 8:57. We're running a little late with the North County incidents and actions. Anthony, thanks for being patient with us. I'm going to put up your contact info here. If you have any incidents or actions that you need to report to Anthony so he can post it on his Facebook page, 805-423-1541. Anthony's got over 6,000 followers that see his posts each and every single day. And so Anthony spends a lot of time on that scanner, touching base with all of his emergency services contacts in and around the county, just doing everything he can to make sure that he keeps it updated. So Anthony, speaking of updates, any updates for us this morning as we go into the 9 o'clock hour?
Nope, everything is pretty much quiet so far. No updates from CHP or sheriffs or anybody else in the county in terms of accidents. So right now it's all gravy.
Awesome stuff. All right, man. Well, that's cool. I appreciate you spending time with us today.
Yeah,
we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
All right, see ya. All right, Anthony Reed, Paso Robles Incidents and Actions. Awesome community service that he does. All right, it's 8:58, Monday, April 5th. The big news for the day is the email that went out by Mr. Aston on Friday. I'll just read through it real quick with you guys. Basically, he is saying that recent changes and guidance from schools for the Centers of Disease Control, California Public Health, has presented Templeton with the opportunity, the high school with the opportunity to expand in-person instructional activities, services. So beginning April 19th, Templeton High School will be combining on-campus cohorts. This means all students that opted for hybrid learning will be attending classes on campus 4 days a week rather than 2 days a week, utilizing the same bell schedule that we are using now. Okay, so good news, right? 4 days a week versus 2 days a week. Students who have elected for distance learning will continue to access their classes via Zoom, utilizing the same bell schedule. Please note that the first week back from spring break, April 12th through 16th, we will still follow the current hybrid model, and students will only be attending the 2 assigned cohort days that week. So kids get back, we're going to go 1 full week, and then the second week back, the 19th is when we start that new model. So congratulations, Templeton Unified School District, for making those strides to make sure that these kids get maximum in-person education opportunities. So round of applause. It's not a political thing for me. It's more of just an exciting mental health victory for our household, and also for just the spirit of the community. I think it's a good thing. So, all right, that's it. That's the show. That's the Morning Buzz. We've got a lot of work to do. This is going to be a fun week. It's going to be a different week, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. It is Monday. Do me a favor. Go out and do something kind for yourself. Take care of yourself. That's what I'm trying to do. It's day 7 of my 75 hard challenge. So focus on yourself, and self-love is super important. Thanks. Talk to you guys